Once upon a time, in a humble village nestled between rolling green hills, lived a widow with her 3 sons, Liam, Noah, and Ethan. Liam was the youngest, Noah the middle child, and Ethan the eldest. They lived a happy, simple life. But their mother was very poor, and the time came for the sons to venture out and seek their fortunes. Liam, the youngest, found work with a master carpenter in a neighboring town. The scent of fresh cut pine and cedar filled the workshop, and for a full year, Liam dedicated himself to the craft, working diligently from sunrise to sunset. When the year concluded, his master, a kind man, wished to reward him. He presented Liam with a simple, unassuming table. It wasn't grand or polished. Its wood was weathered and plain. It may look old and ordinary, the carpenter said with a knowing smile, but this is a magic table. Simply say the words, "Table, I am hungry," and a wonderful feast will appear upon it. You are incredibly generous, Liam said, his heart full of gratitude. He hoisted the table onto his back and began his journey. For months, he wandered from city to city, never once worrying about his next meal. Whenever hunger struck, whether by a river bank or under a shady tree in a bustling town square, he would set down his table, speak the magic words, and enjoy a delicious meal. After some time, a longing for home filled his heart. I should visit my mother, he thought. On the final night of his journey, he sought shelter at a rustic inn run by a solitary old man. "May I stay the night here?" Liam asked. "You may," the old innkeeper replied, his eyes assessing the young traveler, "but I have no food to offer you." "Do not worry about that," Liam said cheerfully. "In fact, you shall dine with me." He set down his table and commanded, "Table, I am hungry." Instantly, a spread of roasted chicken, fresh bread, and steaming vegetables appeared. They ate together, but the innkeeper was not a good man. A dark seed of jealousy took root in his heart. "I must have that table," he schemed to himself. "I could sell the food and become rich. I'd never go hungry again." That night, while Liam slept soundly, the innkeeper crept into his room. He took the magic table and, working through the night, meticulously crafted a near-perfect replica. He placed the fake table beside Liam's bed. The next morning, an unsuspecting Liam put the new table on his back and walked the final stretch to his mother's house. His mother was overjoyed to see him. "What have you been doing all this time, my son?" she asked. "I learned to make tables," Liam replied, "and I've brought one with me." "It doesn't look like much," she observed. "But it's a magic table, mother," Liam declared. "When I say table, I am hungry. The most wonderful food appears. Let's invite all our neighbors. They must see this miracle." His mother eagerly sent out invitations. When the whole village had gathered, Liam placed the table before them and proudly announced, "Table, I am hungry." He waited. Nothing happened. A wave of confusion, then crushing disappointment, washed over Liam. The villagers' hopeful silence turned to snickers and then outright laughter as they left, shaking their heads. Humiliated and furious, Liam knew instantly that the deceitful innkeeper had stolen his magical treasure. Heartbroken, he fled his home and returned to his old master's workshop, writing a letter to his eldest brother, Ethan, detailing the entire sorry tale of the magic table and the jealous old man. Meanwhile, Noah, the second brother, had been working for a friendly farmer many miles away. He too worked hard for a year. As a reward, the farmer gave him a donkey. It was a small, rather scruffy-looking animal. "You can't ride this donkey," the farmer explained, "but it is a very special one." "It's so small. What makes it special?" Noah asked. "It is a magic donkey," the farmer revealed. "Place a cloth or a box beneath its mouth and say the magic word, Bricklebat. Gold coins will fall from its mouth. You will never be poor again. Thank you for this incredible gift," Noah exclaimed. Noah traveled far and wide, the little donkey trotting faithfully behind him. He stayed in the finest inns, wore expensive clothes, and ate lavish meals. Whenever he needed money, he simply found a quiet spot and spoke the magic word. After several months, he too decided to return home. As fate would have it, on the last night of his journey, he arrived at the very same inn run by the jealous old man. "Can I stay here for the night?" he asked. "You can," the innkeeper grumbled, "but it will cost you." Money for your room and your food. Money? Noah laughed. I can give you plenty of money. Later, after Noah had eaten his fill from the stolen magic table, though he didn't know it, the innkeeper demanded payment. Noah reached into his pockets and found them empty. Just a moment, he said. I'll be right back. He took a large cloth and went out to the stable where he had left his donkey. The innkeeper, his curiosity piqued, stealthily followed him and spied through a crack in the door. He watched in amazement as Noah spread the cloth under the donkey's mouth, said Bricklebat, and a shower of shimmering gold coins fell onto it. The innkeeper's eyes widened with greed. I must have that donkey, he whispered. Later that night, the innkeeper found another donkey that looked similar, led the magic one away, and put the ordinary one in its place. The next morning, Noah, none the wiser, continued his journey home. His mother was thrilled to see her second son. And what did you bring from your travels? She asked. The man I worked for gave me this donkey, Noah said proudly. It's a very small donkey, his mother noted. But he's a magic donkey, Noah announced. When I say the magic word, gold falls from its mouth. Call all our friends and neighbors. Once again, the villagers gathered. Now, watch this, Noah said, his voice booming with confidence. Bricklebat. Everyone stared at the donkey. The donkey stared back. Nothing happened. No gold fell. A familiar, cruel laughter filled the air. Noah, filled with rage and shame, realized what must have happened. He, too, ran from the village and returned to his job, sending a letter to his brother Ethan, explaining the theft of the magic donkey by the same wicked innkeeper. Finally, it was Ethan's turn. The eldest and wisest brother had worked for a year with a grizzled old woodcutter deep in the forest. For his year of service, the woodcutter gave him a beautifully carved box. Ethan opened it. Inside lay a plain, sturdy stick. Thank you for the magnificent box, Ethan said, but the stick seems rather ordinary. I think I'll replace it with something more beautiful. Do not be deceived by its appearance, the woodcutter warned. That is a magic stick. If someone is cruel or unjust to you, simply say, "Stick," out of the box. It will leap out and strike them relentlessly. It will only stop when you command, "Stick," back in the box. Ethan thanked the woodcutter, understanding the value of his gift. He had received his brother's letters and knew exactly where his journey must end. On the final night, he arrived at the inn. The jealous old man greeted him. Over dinner, Ethan cleverly baited a trap. You know, he said casually, I have heard tales of a magic table that produces food and a magic donkey that produces gold. The man who has them must be the luckiest in the world. The innkeeper's eyes darted nervously, but, Ethan continued, tapping his carved box, I have something in here far better than either of those things. Nothing in the world is its equal. The innkeeper's greed was ignited. What could it be? He thought. I must have it. When Ethan went to bed, he placed the box on the floor beside him and only pretended to sleep. Sure enough, after some time, the innkeeper tiptoed into the room and reached for the box. Instantly, Ethan's eyes snapped open. Stick, out of the box, he commanded. The stick flew from the box and began to beat the old man on his head, his arms, and his back. The innkeeper yelped and tried to flee, but the stick was too fast. Give me the magic table and the magic donkey, and I will call off the stick, Ethan shouted over the man's cries. Yes, yes, take them, the old man shrieked. Just make it stop. Please, make it stop. Stick, back in the box, Ethan ordered. The stick immediately flew back into the box, and the lid snapped shut. The next day, Ethan took the magic table, the magic donkey, and his magic stick and walked the final mile to his mother's house. His mother was overjoyed to see her eldest son. And what did you bring home? She asked, eyeing the stick in his hand. A stick, she cried. You can get a stick from any tree. Why would he give you that? Mother, Ethan said calmly, this is a magic stick. It helped me get back the treasures that were stolen from my brothers. He then told her the whole story. His mother, her heart swelling with pride, wrote to Liam and Noah, telling them to come home at once. She invited the entire village for a grand feast. Everyone sat around the magic table, eating the most wonderful food they had ever tasted. Before they left, Ethan had each villager take home a bag of gold from the magic donkey's mouth. From that day forward, the old woman and her 3 clever sons, their troubles behind them, lived in comfort and happiness for the rest of their days.